So this piece is called Murr Murr by Mugison. The first thing I want to say is it's in open G tuning. So I'll play all the strings from low to high, and then you can tune to that if you're not already. Some versions of the song he uses a capo on the second fret, but for simplicity's sake I'm going to teach it just with the full neck. Okay, so let's take a look at the first riff of the song. So there's a lot of quite fast finger picking here, so you might want to use either your ring finger or your little finger and root it by the whole of the guitar, so you've got a position to play off. So you're starting off with the A string, or what I'm going to call the A string, then to the G, then hammering on from the open D to the third and then the fifth, and then plucking the G string again quickly afterwards. Then the A again, then the G twice, with a mute after the first pluck. Back to the A, and then a pull off from the third to the open string on the G. As you can see, I'm using a lot of palm muting and muting after each pluck on some of the strings. You just have to get the feel for that when you listen to the song. If you watch the performance of the song, he'll play that 3 times over, and then the 4th time he'll play these chords. So that's fairly simple. You're just using the A string, the 5th fret, and then you're playing also the open D and G strings, then the 3rd fret, then the 2nd, and then all open strings. Those 2 parts of the riff are repeated throughout. Every now and then at the end of the verse he'll alternate to this plucking piece. So that's on the 5th fret of the E and the A strings. So you pluck the E string, the A string, and then the open D and G strings at the same time, and you play that phrase twice. Then you move one finger down to the 3rd fret on the A string and play the same thing. Then you play the harmonics on the 12th fret, so just lay your finger lightly across the strings. You should get that kind of sound. Then you palm mute to the rhythm and play those chords that we mentioned earlier. He plays all of that over and over again until he gets to the change in the song, and there's a change in rhythm as well, and he gets this kind of sound, which is very simple, just bar chords. So you're strumming the open neck and the 3rd fret barring, same rhythm open, and then 5th. They're the main chords he uses all the way throughout the song: 3rd fret barring and 5th fret. Sometimes there's a 2nd in there as well. If you ever hear that, that's what he's playing. Then he moves to the really fast bit of the song. This is probably the fastest bit of the whole track, but once you work it out, it's again fairly simple. So he's playing this. So again, we're just simply moving between the 3rd and the 5th frets. So it's hammering on at a fair pace. You're starting on the open E, hammering on to the third and then the fifth, and then playing the open A. Then you're playing that same shape, just moving up the strings. Then finishing off with barring the top 3 strings, playing that. After you've played that phrase twice, you leave out the lower 2 strings and you're just playing. Then after you finish that fast phrase, he plays the chord sequence twice. Then you're back to the main riff. The only other major bit in the song to note is when he's playing the main riff. Towards the end of the song he'll play this bit. He mixes that into the last bar of the riff, and again all it is the 3rd and 5th frets. So you're starting on the 3rd fret of the G string, hammering on and off the 5th, pulling off the 3rd to the open, and then back on, and then doing the same thing on the D string. Sometimes we'll finish that sequence with a sort of a quarter bend on the 3rd fret of the D. So that's all the parts of the song. It's just about building up finger speed with this track really. Sometimes he'll use a slide for some parts, but that's just moving between the 5th, 3rd and 2nd frets, which we've already talked about. Sometimes he'll change the order of the riffs or the speed of the song, but that's simple enough to deal with. And I'll provide a link in the description below if you want to see him actually perform it. So I hope this lesson's been helpful, and thanks.